Hello, I'm ENTIRE Stronghold and welcome back to the start of what's going to seem like a bit of an absurd Minecraft challenge because I wanted to see if it is possible to destroy an entire stronghold and to put it all in chests. That's right, I wanted to take on one of the biggest structures in the game. At the time of its introduction, it was the largest structure Minecraft actually had. It personifies the point in the game where you're about to beat Minecraft, and I wanted to beat the structure by destroying the entire thing. This is going to be a huge challenge because the thing is hundreds of blocks wide, but that's what we'll be attempting in today's video, which I hope you all do enjoy. So if you're familiar with my survival world, you might know that I already have done a fair amount of destruction to the first stronghold I did find. The one that is most easily found within the world. You can see looking around here, there is a lot of, like destruction because I had to put a metro going through here. And also there was a skeleton spawner. So, basically long story short, there's a lot of destruction in my existing stronghold. So I figured rather than making it too easy for myself, I wouldn't use this stronghold or any of the strongholds I've discovered already, but I'd find a brand new one just for this. So that's what we're doing right now. And to start that search, we're going to be going to the Nether. So in case you think we missed a step in the logic here, because like Nether equals strongholds, well basically in Minecraft Bedrock at the very least, I know it's slightly different in Java, there are 3 strongholds which are found in a ring around your spawn, roughly speaking, in your Minecraft world. And then after that, they kind of generate randomly. And given that these first 3 are predictable but kind of far apart, we're going to be going very, very far out from the rest of our world. The fastest way to do so is to go via the Nether because of the 8-to-1 travel link. And yeah, we're going to be going to the Nether and then we'll just be searching from a random point from then onwards. So we have a fully random, brand new, definitely hasn't been generated or seen before stronghold, because I feel like that's the best way to make this a fun, brand new thing that we actually can find something brand new. So yeah, we need to go about 600 blocks out into the Nether, which will take us about 5,000 blocks out into the real world, and then we'll look for a stronghold from there. So now I have, just on the left of my main big pathway here, a Nether portal, which means if I somehow magically to just, teleport into a stronghold, I'll be able to get back to it easy. But realistically, it means I just have an anchor point in the overworld from which I can use my Eye of Enders to find said stronghold. So that should be an easy, because we've got a bunch of these now. Once you've gone to the end at least once, it's really easy to get ender pearls, and once you've, once you go to the Nether a few times, it's easy to get blaze rods. But yeah, on Bedrock, the stronghold generation is a little bit different, which means that anywhere randomly around here, we could find ourselves a stronghold. Hey! Not even an almost guarantee. Like 10 blocks later, here we are in a stronghold. So this is what we're going to be destroying today. And there's 2 reasons I think it's going to be fun to destroy this. The first one is the fact that, it'll be interesting to see what's going to be left behind. Like, just seeing caves with nothing in them, kind of hollowed out for this purpose of the stronghold. And the other thing is I'm curious as to how many blocks it has of each type. That's one of the other fun things we get in these instructions, because we do put it all in chests to kind of preserve and work out exactly how many blocks are in a stronghold. So I'm excited, and I guess we should start with the first destruction, which, by the way, just for this very task, I've repaired my unbreaking and efficiency pickaxe with silk touch on, just so I can do this very task. So one of the things I'm going to do inside here, just to make my life a little bit easier, because, mining an entire stronghold is a little bit of a challenge, is I'm going to be going ahead and making myself a beacon. A lot of people always say, whenever you do any kind of mining thing, like, hey, you should always bring a beacon around with you just for this purpose. And, I think, it's a small boost. It's not necessarily a great boost, especially if you don't have a lot of beacons. But I did kill the wither recently, so we have a beacon. It's all ready to go as soon as we make a big, direct line of sight for it to the sun. So once you remove all of the non-bookcase and non-cobweb ingredients, plus a couple of chests, this is what the library room looks like. And honestly, it's pretty strange, especially with all the caves and other bits of stronghold colliding with it. It's just a reminder that, without the stronghold in your stronghold, it looks a lot less like a stronghold. Who would have figured? A lot of people always assume the Woodland Mansion was the first structure to be generated from lots of tiny different structures, but you've got to remember that's exactly how the stronghold does work. There's lots of different stronghold rooms, such as the library, such as the hallway, such as all these bits, that just generate together in a random order. That's why all your strongholds look the same, because it's just these same rooms generating in different orders of different connections, in different relations to each other. And yeah, that's something interesting you might not realize. It's one of the first OG naturally generated structures, if you will. And that's why after you go for a certain number of strongholds, you start to really understand them a bit more. It's crazy how it seems how behind almost every single wall in this thing there's another cave. I'm not sure if this is every stronghold, because I haven't destroyed many recently. I'll be honest, this is the first time I'm taking apart an entire stronghold, but it's kind of cool to see just how many caves and stuff you can find on the other side of the walls. So pro tip, if you're ever in a stronghold and you need to find gold or iron or whatever else, this is a good way to do that. So since I'm currently restocking the chests again, they're going pretty well, by the way. One of the things I figured I'd talk about is, again, people seem to love the differences between the Bedrock version of Minecraft, which isn't as widely played on YouTube, and the Java version. So here's another one. Trees, when it snows, snows in these snowy plains biome turn white instead of just going green with some white on top of them, and it's a nice little change. It's not one that you'll ever really care about or notice, but it means if you need to find wood, it's harder to do because you can't spot it, or at the other side of things, it looks more interesting maybe, so you might spot it that way. I don't know, just all leaves turn white when it snows, and that's a nice change. Oh, it looks like we found 3 diamonds inside one of these chests, which I've only just stumbled across right now. That's kind of cool in my opinion. And some apples. How wonderful. Although we've also just stumbled across for the first time, or at least for the first time, like I recall, one of these rooms right here, which means we have another brand new block we have to like work out into our sorting system, because we need some cobblestone just blocks in there. So that's going to be a whole mess. And in exchange we get some gold though, so... and apples again. So there's ups and there's downs to this whole thing. Really cool to see what used to be a labyrinth of tunnels that was tricky to get through turn into what is actually like, oh yeah, this is really manageable. It's just a bunch of things, grouped next to each other that's tricky to get around because you're turning right, left, but when you turn it's just a straight across, it's a lot more manageable, which is, I mean, again, it's one of the satisfying things about this, learning how strongholds are made a bit more. So, another benefit to doing this. Oh, it's also worth noting we found these rooms for pretty much the first time, and they're not that much of a problem to deal with. Like, yeah, we have to collect some torches from them, which will be a whole thing. But they are like an interesting room that just leads into so much more stronghold that I didn't think they existed, but believe me, it does. Okay, I think this right here, just in front of the giant green slime, was the last door in the stronghold. I could be wrong about this. I mean, I might even find one on the way out. But I think we found yep, see, the strongholds are so big, you think you've explored it all, and then you find a whole new section with 2 more doors. And you realise you haven't explored it all, because there's a whole dark area, apparently, too. So I've come up with a solution to one of the big problems you'll find in this stronghold, because there's a big verticality element that as soon as we eliminate the staircase off, we can't get up and down. So my solution is just to use ladders in place of these rooms, and the ladders will indicate, oh yeah, this was a spiral staircase room. What do you even call these places? Like, they're really weird mishmash rooms, but just to, indicate that there was one here, while also giving me the ability to go up and down, because I've had to destroy a few blocks here and there, like leave this one standing, and rather than that, why don't we just have a ladder, so we can jump up and down, but villagers can't, and it also makes it a bit more private. So we'll just do the same in every room as my official way up and down, and it means I can finally properly destroy these ugly rooms. I'm not sure what we just did, but I think gravel jumped on a bunch of enemies, or fed on a bunch of enemies, because I hear a lot of death sounds right now. We should go look around for where that is, because there are so many caves attached to this one room. Like, just to give you a quick idea, there's that cave, there's a cave over to the right, there's a cave down here that leads to, like, over here, but also you can see it leads to gold. It just leads in every direction, because this is more cave than stronghold in this particular. Look how much gravel is just stacked right on top of the ceiling here. I don't want to destroy this ceiling because I can't deal with the gravel that's going to come pouring down. It's just such a nightmare. I hate gravel so much, and I feel like this is only extending my hate to it. Or maybe the stronghold's just taunting me like, you think you can mine me? How can you deal with this gravel? Because, I mean, gravel's pretty much the only threat a stronghold can give you, given it has no exclusive enemies. Okay, so since I've killed a second pickaxe, and we've reached the point where even though I started this just after eating breakfast, I need to go get some food, let me show you around what we've done so far in the first big session, the first 6 1/4 hours or so of destroying this. So, as you can see, looking around the first area, you can see there's just no trace of stronghold remaining. Besides the bookshelves in both libraries, there's just nothing remaining, and the chests, of course, but it's just entirely destroyed in that fashion. You can see where there used to be a little bit of maze here. Oh, we've got a couple of blocks remaining. How nice, we can get those now. But, looking around here, you can see how there's pretty much nothing remaining. There's just big holes where there used to be stronghold. For the first, few rooms in each direction, it's just like nothing, nothing, nothing. Every single direction, it's just the same. But to do the fun comparison of like before and now, just to see how much progress we've made, this entire destruction is just nothing until about here, where it's very little. It's just like half the floor. And then you can see, looking around here, there's what used to be a complex room is now just a gravel explosion, it seems. Oh, with some more blocks I need to pick up. Again, got to make sure we get all of these. And then it's a big gravel explosion room. If we don't turn off to the right, you'll see it's a gravel explosion hallway. If we turn off to the left, it's the same in every direction. There's a lot of turns to these, more than you perhaps realize before trying to destroy one. You can see how there's some areas that haven't been touched quite so well. Like this right here, I've just kind of destroyed some blocks as I've been walking through it from time to time. And then you can see how it finally finishes back over here. So, yeah, comparison from start to finish. You can see how there's a lot missing, but there's still so much to go. My estimate of 5.5 hours could not have been more wrong. This might be the longest, like, single survival project video I ever make. But you know, if that's a price worth paying, in my opinion. But I'm gonna go to McDonald's now, because I do need to eat. And, you know, a Big Mac would be nice about now. Okay, so I am now back. I got myself a Big Mac and I went to a dessert parlor for some ice cream and / or sorbet. I mixed the two together, which no one recommends doing, but I totally recommend myself. And also, because I know there's some portion of people who are like McDonald's haters, like, oh, that's like trash food or whatever. Let me just throw it out there. The amazing thing about the Big Mac, besides being like absurdly cheap in the UK with like the right deals or the right stores or whatever, it's also the fact that no matter what speed you're eating a Big Mac at, it's always going to be pretty good. Like, eat it really fast because you have no time, you just got to wolf it down. Boom, super amazing. Eat it really slowly because you want to savor it or something. I don't know if people do that. Then it's amazing there too. I'm just saying, it's got all the speeds covered, and that's that's crucial stuff when it comes to food. But yeah, I've got to actually repair my pickaxe. Let's quickly go back and do that. Okay, so that was an hour condensed to roughly 36 seconds, I want to say. I mean, it's done in editing, so like, I can't see it. But you got to see my last hour of work in that amount of time. Isn't that wonderful? But yeah, you can see we made a decent amount of progress in that time. Besides the mushrooms, which I've got to decide if I want to store them separately or just throw them away. Besides the mushrooms, this entire area here is all gone. Beside, this entire area here, all mined out. I took out 2 of the fountain rooms, which is huge. I took out my first staircase, so now as you can see, there's just another big gap. And yeah, I'm actually feeling optimistic again about being able to finish this in a reasonable, less than like 20-30 hours time frame. Because it kept seeming like I just walk and it would go on forever. But now I'm starting to think, it's reasonable. We can get to the end. I mean, like, after this big spur down here, I think this is the last huge one we've got to do. And then it's positive progress from there. So again, I'm back on the hype train. Let's do this. Let's get a few hours in, probably another pickaxe or 2 in. And current goal, because, this is kind of fun. Like, can I predict how long this will take? I'm going to predict this is going to be about 7 hours in total. Sorry, about 7 more hours in total from, my prediction sucks. So prediction time, because it's kind of fun to predict and then see if I'm anywhere near right on this. So we're about 7.5 hours in. I'm going to predict that it's about another 4.5 to the end of this, or at least till we're like mostly wrapped up, because there's going to be a few like bits that just like haunt me forever. But besides those things, I'm going to assume that it's another 4-ish hours, maybe optimistically. So let's see if I'm right. So an interesting thing I am starting to realize is that every single stronghold has the same kind of secret rooms. So as a part of the staircase room, for instance, there's always this downstairs stair area just underneath the staircase. And although sometimes it means nothing, in this case there is nothing here, there always is going to be one. So it's worth looking here in case A, there's something in there, like, I don't know, a mob or something, or B, in case it links into another part of the stronghold, which in this case it doesn't. But if we go like 1 block through the wall, or like 2 blocks through the wall, or like 4 blocks, 5 blocks, if we go a certain number of blocks through the wall, 8 blocks, then you'll see on the other side, boom, we found more strong. I mean, it's not a very good, it's not a very good example here, but I mean, it did still kind of work. So my point is still valid, I think. Okay, so now I've pretty much finished one of the 2 big branches of the entire stronghold. Again, where there used to be caves in it, now there are none. There is absolutely nothing here besides pillars and a few blocks, which I'm using to go up and down because I need to get myself some ladders. But besides that, we've got some pretty empty caves. It's really satisfying to look at, honestly. Like, it's been a slog, we're like 8-something hours in. But it's feeling good again. It's like, man, that is some cool progress. This is the feeling I was going after the whole time. And now we have to do it for the other branch, which I'm hoping goes a bit faster. Now we know how, like, some efficiencies. We've probably already mined some stuff. That's what I'm hoping, at least. Because, yeah, we go down here, and then we've got to just follow this all the way to each of these ends, and then we should be all finished. There's the bookshelves as well. But still, I'm feeling good. And also, we repaired the pickaxe again, and I started to realize that, like, okay, every pickaxe has around, it's a big time pickaxe, has about 1500 durability, and then because I have unbreaking on them, that means that they have about 6000, because it means you have 4 times as much, because it's 1/4 chance to use them, which means that so far, just with my 2 repairs of this pickaxe, plus the repair, or the lack of repair on the other one, I've used 4 sets almost, or about to use 4 sets of this, which means that we're going close to 24,000 blocks mined, and we're not going to be done yet. It might require another couple of repairs. I'm hoping it's just 1 more after we finish this, but there's a lot of mining to come, and it's kind of impressive. Like, you don't realize how much mining you can do for some big projects until you dive into them, and I guess we've learned the lesson in this one. for future times. Okay, I really pray this is the last time I have to repair this pickaxe, because they get more and more expensive each time you do them, and I can't afford the next one just yet. So, yeah, let's just pray this is the last use of the pickaxe, and this gets me all the way to the end of the challenge. We're fast approaching 10 hours, so, I mean, like, come on, game, give me a bone or something. So yeah, we have this huge room right here, the one the Nether portal spawned in. One of the branches leads back to, you know, the main part of the fortress. It's all cleared out, it's all good, it's entirely done besides, you know, like 5 blocks in the ceiling. It's done that way. Every other branch needs to be finished. I've done little bits in all of them, but we need to clear out all 5 branches, and then the entire stronghold is done, besides the bookcases and the stronghold room. So basically, we just have to set to work and get going in every direction, and just kind of do them one by one. And again, there's kind of like a prioritization we can do right here. We can go from, you know, like longest, you know, shortest, but I think we'll start easy to hard. To keep things going motivating, we'll do 1/5 of the 5 exits by just doing this one weird kind of popped out area. So we'll just mine this first, and then we can move on to the second area, and so on and so forth. And that'll keep motivation high, I think. Okay, just like that, branch 1 of 5 is down. It actually ended up going into the second one, as you could probably imagine, but 1 of the 5 is down. Oh, the handy thing about working in the second wing is that we're close enough to that original beacon, despite being way lower in the stronghold, that we still get the haste effect. How lovely. And that right there is the second branch complete. Every single one of the blocks in that direction is gone too. Next up, number 3, I mean, after 2 does come free. Oh no, my axe has just died. We have another casualty to the challenge, I guess. Using the fist from here on out. Okay, the third entrance type thing has now been done. A torch has been left floating, which is a weird glitch, I guess. I kind of like it personally, but this is all done, this is all done, this is all done. There's only 2 more ways out of this room to finish. Over there and over there. We can do it, although these are the biggest ones. Like, it seems to just go on forever, just endless caves. But we can do this. We can finish the tunnels today. It looks like I'm staring at a wall right now, but it's actually the ceiling. I don't know, I always love the little optical illusions like this. At some point, you'd be mining stone brick long enough that it looks the same, regardless of which surface you're actually looking at. Which is either really cool or like a bad sign. So I found so much iron ore all over the stronghold, and I'm actually going to start mining this because I just realized we're going to need it a little bit later. So in case you're curious as to why, you'll realize very shortly. But we're going to get a bunch of iron on our next way out because we've got a full inventory, an entirely full shulker box. We need to just go empty that now. Okay, we have now done the 4th little exit. As you can see, all of these previously stone bricks are now air. We just have an entirely empty space. It's kind of cool, but that means we have the big final boss yet to come. We have the big final wing, which is the last kind of exit. I think this is the biggest one. I truthfully think I saved it till last, which is probably not a good thing, but we've got a lot of different things to do over here. It's a lot of different caves, but it should be doable. It should be doable. It's just I'm really worried about my pickaxe's durability, but again, let's focus on that issue when and if it comes up, and by if I mean when. Okay, and now we can afford to repair the pickaxe for the last, hopefully at least. You know, if there's another time, I just give up. But, you know, we've got one last full-on repair. It's all the way at max. Is that going to be enough to finish? Again, if the answer's not yes, then the answer is I never finished making this video because I was found dead 3 days later in my room. Okay, so it is official. As far as I'm aware, I have now cleared out every single room in the stronghold. We are a solid 12 and a bit hours in, 12 and a half, I think. But that's a result. That's pretty solid. So now we've done the bulk of the challenge. Now we can kind of go around and clear up the chests and also anything else that's lying around here. There might be like a stray block in some corners that we should go get. So yeah, let's break the chest one by one and see what's inside. Like, ooh, there's an iron sword in here. Let's break that and let's take that with us. Why don't we? And yeah, we're going to do this for all of the chests, just because why not, I guess. Okay, so now I've mined up all of the chests, I've mined up all of the blocks, and I've put them into their respective things, minus 2 big exceptions. So there's only 2 things left to do, and then the entire thing has been mined, the entire project has been complete. So, in case you're curious as to what those 2 things are, basically earlier we kind of just left the bookshelves, considering them to be kind of separate, but now we do have to go through and just properly go back and properly mine all of them. It's going to take some time because we're using a shovel, but that's just how we got to do things. And then the other big thing, or kind of I would say it's a pretty small thing compared to everything else we've done today, but we do have to mine up the entire end portal room, and also we have to take up the lava and put it into buckets. So yeah, we're going to scoop up the lava, we're going to destroy the entire room, which is easier said than done because some of the room is nice and easy, but some of it is surrounded by water, so we're going to have to make like a casing around the room. It's going to be a whole fun thing. Okay, so now both of the libraries are entirely destroyed, and honestly, the cubes that they leave behind are some of the most satisfying. Like, it's just a huge, pretty much cubic room, and it's kind of cool to see, but having two next to each other gives us the double impression of like, oh, here's another one. Just a big, huge cube. So I put the bookshelves away now, and now we work on the final challenge, that final challenge being the end room. So the reason this one is a little bit of a mess is because of the fact that it's underwater, but my plan for this one, maybe this is a clever plan, maybe it's not, I guess we'll kind of find this one out, is to kind of dig right up there, and then it's going to be to surround this area with a stone, so that way I can mine the walls. Because right now, if I try to mine the walls, let me show you what happens. I mine the walls a little bit, and then suddenly some water comes pouring in, and it causes some issues, or just pours everywhere. So I'm just going to be, covering up all these water potential holes, and maybe getting dolphins in the stronghold too. But I'm going to be covering up all these water holes using stone. So yeah, we just surround this with stone, so it looks like there's a cave, but it's a cave which has, obviously, some stuff on the other side, some water on top of it. Oh, and the other key thing I brought with me is buckets. The buckets we can, of course, use from all that iron we got earlier, just so we can scoop up all of the lava, because lava is technically one of the ingredients that this is made of. Did I just throw lava into the lava? I think. Ah, I see what I just did there. My bad. Okay, so now the entire room has been surrounded with stone, which means I can remove the walls and the ceiling and whatever else as freely as I like, as long as I don't remove the layer above that, like I just did there. But as long as I don't do that, we should be all fine. So, I mean, this is more than just a bit of mess right now, but again, I'm too close to the end to focus on minutia. We're getting this done, with or without the jump. And just like that, we have now destroyed every single breakable block in the stronghold, which sadly does not include the end portal frame, because those things are entirely immune. However, everything else is now gone. The entire place is just a weird cave where a stronghold used to exist. It's actually really cool in my opinion, and I think it's honestly a weird thing that this took 14 hours. I really wasn't expecting anywhere near that long. I was kind of like pessimistically saying maybe 5.5 hours, and I think a lot of people at the start would have said the same. And admittedly, some of this time was spent, like faffing around, getting new pickaxes and, XP and so on and so forth. But at least 12 of that was actual mining time. Maybe some of it was less efficient, but still, it takes a lot more time to do certain things than you might realize. And now you know the hard way the easy way, rather than having to learn the hard way yourself. I don't know for sure, but let's go put all the stuff away and do a roundup on how many items we have. Okay, so we've emptied the entire stronghold into chests in a row like this, alphabetically ordered. We're going to be going through and giving you an idea of what the average stronghold does contain. Do keep in mind that all of these numbers have a margin of error of about 0.5% or so, because again, some of these stone bricks turned into silverfish, and we might have left some, bricks because they either despawned while we weren't there, or just something along those lines, so just keep that in mind. But this is a good estimate to the average number of blocks found inside a stronghold. In the average stronghold, for example, you'll find yourself 453 different bookshelves. You'll find yourself 10 different chests on average. You'll find 134 cobblestone and 89 cobblestone stairs. You'll find 68 cobwebs, and impressively, you'll find yourself 5,749 cracked stone bricks, then 425 iron bars. Again, a lot more than I was expecting. 22 ladders. You'll find yourself 8,463 moss stone bricks. So again, absurd numbers there. You'll find 42 oak doors, a little less absurd. You'll find yourself a nice number of 90 oak fences, 401 oak wood planks, and then, okay, here's the big stack of chests. Yeah, you might imagine a stronghold has a lot of stone bricks. How many? 15,707 stone bricks. Into the 5 digits. Mining this will take you at least, even without breaking, 3 pickaxes. There's no way, even just the stone bricks alone, that is how much we've got. It's 5 chests worth. It's absolutely crazy, but that's how much you'll find in a stronghold. 154 stone brick slabs, 8 stone brick stairs, funnily enough. There's only one room that contains them, the end portal room. You'll find yourself, with 112 stone slabs and 61 torches. And then miscellaneously, you'll find some bread, some apples, an iron sword, some ink sacks, surprisingly, some enchanted books, which is nice. You'll even get a map, which is kind of cool, and a bunch of lava if you so choose to take it. But that is what you'll find yourself inside any given stronghold. It's kind of cool to take out an entire Minecraft structure and then to kind of categorize it like this. It feels really kind of strange, like we're some sort of serial killer that's like alphabetically arranging the organs of a victim. But on the other hand, it's like, yeah, I kind of enjoy this destruction project, and it's not just something we did in vain. I think it is kind of cool to do this, but it also means that now we have all of the blocks categorized. So if you want to like kind of, I want to do a recycling challenge next. I kind of want to at some point recycle the entire thing and make a better stronghold, because we have the end portal frame. We can turn that using our brand new blocks into something much cooler than just a stronghold, because strongholds are so, you know, 2011 or whatever. And that means that if you want to do the exact same, just copy the exact number of each of these ingredients. Take, you know, 450 free bookshelves. Take 5,749 cracked stone bricks. Take the 15,000 stone bricks, and you can make a pretty good stronghold replica, which I think is kind of wonderful. Anyway, before we go, I feel like we should do one last thing, and that's truly appreciate the damage we've done to this thing. Again, over the last 14 hours, I've seen it bit by bit and kind of thought it was cool, but let's do a side-by-side comparison. I'm going to load up the world again on the same seed, you know, same stuff, but it's going to be before I destroyed it or after I destroyed it. You know, take the world with the stronghold that exists and compare it to the world without the stronghold right now, so you can see the difference between the two. So yeah, again, everything here is just wildly different. Where there used to be a T-junction room, there's just a mess of a cave, but you know, we've seen that for a few hours now. Then, where there's usually meant to be a like stone staircase, we've just got ourselves a ladder leading down to, again, a big multiple choice room. No such choices found elsewhere. And yeah, just kind of going through this thing bit by bit, you start to really appreciate that. And actually, you know, let me just show you like how much we can jump across the stronghold. Now we're in the old library. We just jumped across from way over the other side of the stronghold. We can jump from this library to over to here, and then down through the floor to another part of the stronghold altogether. There's just so many caves now that just exist in this huge form, and I think there's got to be something fun to do with all these caves. I don't know exactly what it is. I really don't have the precise idea of like, what is it that you can turn these caves into, because there's so much cave. It's all just this empty mess that seems like it should be something, but just isn't quite right now. But yeah, we have now cleared out an entire thing. Oh, actually, technically excluding that torch, but I want to leave that floating there in the air, so add one to the torch count if you want. But yeah, we've cleared out the entire thing, and what we have in return is the weirdest looking cave system. It looks like it's part of a mod, but no, this is just the cave that a stronghold creates inherently to exist. And now we can, so now we have like kind of, again, 2 future project ideas. Right now, it's been 14 hours. I want to sleep more than I want anything else in the world, but it does leave us with the potential for the future of like, 1, we've got a cool cave system we can work into something, and 2, we've got a bunch of blocks we can use to make a stronghold-like structure. So if you would like to see a stronghold recycling challenge, let me know in the comments down below, because I've done a recycling challenge for quite a few other things in Minecraft. Right now, I don't want to picture it. I don't even if I can picture it. I have like the vague idea of like, yeah, use the end portal room over here, like make a thing to the surface and make a cool tower above ground or something. But you know, beyond that, I'm just thinking like, don't want to do that, don't want to do that. If I do ever do a recycling challenge, it would definitely be after 1.14 and or 1.9 releases for Bedrock. But if you want to see it, please do let me know, because I enjoy making these survival videos. I know this was a huge amount of time to sink into one video, but it was something I really enjoyed, and it's just a reminder that, you know, sometimes there are things you enjoy that don't seem like they're worth the time, but if you enjoy the time, then it's not wasting time, you know? Like, it's wasting time on something if you feel like you didn't have a good time at the end of it. But if you at the end you feel this weird mixture of relief with exhaustion, with also a little bit of accomplishment, and, you know, you had some fun in the meantime, I feel like I did today, then this would be worthwhile. However, again, I'm going to have to tone back these survival projects, but I hope to see you all in one in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to my editor for editing together literally 14 hours of footage. Again, it's pretty wild. But I'm going to go just pass out like I did in Minecraft right now. Goodbye.